So, nobility mod. What would it look like ideally? I'm thinking like probably the main thing that I want to see really is just you being able to interact more with your vassals. Like you being able to, I don't know, give them.
You're referring to the dialogue options
It
or
it could be
specific
dialogue
dialogue
options.
options that would lead to actions.
That would be, yes, that would be ideal as well. I was thinking more just like there being able to be relationships between your vassals as well, since like right now the only relationship is between the king and one vassal, and there's just like a lot of those relationships. But what if there was more of a network of relationships between the vassals themselves? Like what if the I don't know, what if like the faction system was tweaked where like you could only form a faction with people if you were intermarried, like if your clan members were married to each other, and that would make it to where like if your like factions are like a serious thing and they wouldn't just dissolve after a certain period of time, something like that maybe, or even a thing where
In the game right now, they kind of dissolve in a month, which is way too little of a time for them to join any other factions. Whenever a faction dissolves, it's just like one team that gets to join whatever other side, or at least two.
I actually I actually tweaked in my
But
games. I
you have
tweaked the settings
to
for that.
take in consideration they had like a problem of like the game used to really bug out in the later years because all of the families were like running around having war on the remaining kingdoms, usually you,
Yeah.
and that kind of bugged out the like think of late game Hearts of Iron or even CK3 when everybody is full of armies and everybody has all the technology.
Okay.
So that's why kind of like for many people the game usually bugged out to the I don't know, let's say 90 or even 30 years into the future, which is like I don't know, your sun is not up. Is typically uh well the 30 if you decided to marry on the first day or something like that.
Okay.
But like when you started out this, you mentioned like many actions with the nobles. Um, one of the cheat options is to control an AI party. What if that was just like a dialogue option? You, as a king, will specifically go to your vassal and say, "Hey, can you raid that town for me? Can you siege that castle?" And that would be your option to tell that guy, and he can accept or not. You can pay him. Just like what I'm thinking is there's a lot of mechanics in the game that are not that connected and can easily be put together and be more accessible to one another. For now, there's no dialogue option to anything, just to play a stupid board game with the Lord or to trade.
Yeah, that's true.
And think about it, that would not be, for example, hideouts. Why can I not like just ask a companion to take 10 men and clean the hideout without me having to go to all the hideouts on the map?
That's true. I think well
And that can
I would
go with
assume
nobles too.
right off the bat I
I
would
mean, you
assume
can
it's
ask a lower noble to do that for you, just like how you can produce missions. That's what I'm asking. Like how you can go and notables and other nobles ask you for horses or different types of things. Uh, that's what you should be able to do also to create those missions for other lords, and they can succeed or not. Typically, when you do a mission, you have a success rate. When you choose your companions, this way, you can see his success rates or something like that, on or how good that lord would be on gaining the specific objects or doing the specific task.
Okay, yeah. That's actually that's a good point to go into my next like kind of set of ideas, which is like the rank and the privileges, because I think there's already in the code a restriction from when you're a mercenary. You have certain interactions with the lords and like the kingdom, and you're restricted from others. But what if we put that into multiple different categories, and we made it to where the access to certain kingdom features was restricted. So like say tier 1 you have access to like being able to see all the clans, but tier 2 you get to start voting on things, tier 3 you get to call armies together, stuff like that, and then we just translate those tiers into ranks. And then it wouldn't be that hard to differentiate, like to put different names for the ranks for every kingdom, but I would say probably just for now just the same rank for every kingdom. But yeah,
So
the
basically,
more
you
that you
meant
do those
like
missions and the better you do those missions, the higher rank that you get, and then the more access to kingdom features that you get. Does that sound like it would be possible?
um it's just like you have to produce some locks in the code. You basically you see the path, and you see that in other points there are certain locks. So, for example, when you are not part of a kingdom, you cannot access the kingdom menu.
Yeah.
Well, that basically it's a little bit of code written somewhere, and you have to basically paste that and place it after some other things. And basically, what you're asking here is something like requirements,
Something like that, yeah.
and basically this is in game. So all I have to do is like restudy the game files and see, like on a mission, typically, I don't know, you require to get back 16 horses. So it has like that counter, that counts if you have those 16 horses.
Okay.
So the mechanic is already there. That's a requirement. We can make the requirement whatever. Have an army of 200, and it will count your army basically. And if you reach that certain, you can then do more things like begin to vote, begin to call uh,
Armies.
certain nobles, lower nobles, let's say.
Okay.
Uh, that leads me to another thing. Um, all the novels progress, and during the late game, everybody is almost tier 4 and above, so we don't see lower nobles. Even like rebels actually start higher than companions at level 3.
Say that again, sorry.
And like during the late game, all the clans, sorry, all the clans progress to tiers higher than their original tier. So there's no
Oh,
low
okay.
tier clans.
Okay, I
Like,
get what you're saying.
so the only way to produce these low tier clans is to make companions. And you basically have to be a bit mad to go to all the kingdoms and become king and produce tons of companions, new clans to rebirth the clan system in the game. So that's why we have to um, like input a thing that would lower the tier. So like renown should be able to go in reverse.
Renown should be able to go in reverse.
Yes. So basically you are tier 4, let's say, but you are not meeting the requirements. Let's say for an example, the requirements for tier 4 are have at least one settlement, have a garrison of over 120, and have a standing army of at least 200. If you do not meet these requirements, your renown is starting to getting down.
Okay.
And if you pass the point of the, like when you go from tier 3 to tier 4, if you pass that point in reverse, you go back to tier 3. So you go back to being just a baron. Let's say because you are now tier 4, you become from a baron, you are now, what's the next tier
A
in English
Viscount.
ability? What?
Viscount. Or Count.
Count?
Yeah, you can do Count.
Yeah, let's say counts. So basically, from Baron, you become tier 4 counts. And if you are not able to maintain this title, uh, uh, yes, this title or noble classification, because the way I see titles input in the game would be over the ownership of settlements. Just
Yeah.
like, for example, I don't know, you are a baron, but you also have the town of Sargot, so you are a Lord of Sargot, Baron, I don't know, whatever.
That would I think the Valandians they have titles, right? What is the system that they use to do that?
Actually, everyone is a baron, and the king is the king.
Oh, okay.
So, like, for example, the empire is everyone is an archon. Uh, I don't remember for Athenians, but like Q8 has beg at the end,
Yes.
and so that's something that has to be added. Also, have you checked Banner Kings?
Banner Kings. I have not. No.
So Banner Kings is like this mod that tries
So
to combine and
let
does it
me
very well.
stop you
Um,
real quick because
Mechanics of
I did
what?
watch a video about Banner Kings. And
Oh, it's
it
it's fantastic mod. Those guys that are working on it are like doing amazing stuff. There's a lot of more new cultures, and there's like all those areas that are not having settlements on them that look like they might have.
Mhm.
They they populated everything, and they tried to do everything accordingly to the lore. Like they study everything, like the game files of the all previous games, mods and everything that is lore wise, and they input it in the game. And like they did it in KD CK3 style, because like, oh, if you hover over like a province, it usually has the province name in the own language.
Yes.
So, for example, uh, Vlandians are called how Vlandians would call it. Batanians are called how Batanians would call themselves. And Sturgians the same. For example, Sturgians are Sturgiski, and Batanians are Batanied. Vlandians are like
Sturgiski.
Wilundians or something.
Okay.
And in that game, um, it has those mechanics that has kind of a court system. You can be the court physician if you are like high on medicine. But then, if you have high medicine stats.
Oh yeah, we
um,
all like to be high on medicine.
yeah. Uh, or you can be the siege master. You can be very diplomatic if you have charm. I didn't play it a lot because um I typically play Bannerlord because I can fight in it and I like to fight in it.
Yeah,
Usually
okay.
I like
So the
to
reason why I brought it
coordinate the
up
battles and jump right in at the end.
The reason why I
But
brought up that thing was because I did watch the video, and in the video it said that like there's not a whole lot of combat that you do in the mod, and I was like, well, that's very interesting because combat is one of the big things that I like to do in CK3.
well, this is a problem that made me like totally scrap the troops in the old mod and the old files, because um when they did the troops, they used the previous version of the some armor gears that I used. So if I continued that and didn't change the troops, whenever somebody would try to start a battle, it would crash
Okay.
because of the armor. So I haven't checked it in about a month, but I'm sure the guys have done something on it because it's 3rd of March and he posted about doing something on it on 1st of January. And what I was about to say is when you press on a character, it says you the name and then is a comma and then it presents you the title.
Okay. That's what I like.
So like for example, you go Ragera and it's a comma and she'll be like Empress of Southern Empire, but written in whatever language they try to make up.
Yeah.
And also they had religions, but that's kind of hard to implement too. And I'm not trying to
Yeah,
like
religion is probably not
replicate
what.
what they did. We like trying to make something original and simple with the mechanics already implemented and something that can tweak it a bit.
Yeah, just like a slight change. Like we don't need to revolutionize the game. Um, so one thing that I really wanted to get going, like I said, as one of the first points, was like being able to interact more and like see your like nephews and cousins around. A lot of people tend, well, not tend, but like a lot of times I especially end games before I'm able to see like the second generation fully flourish. Like maybe one or two people will be grown, but I want to see a system where it's like when your brothers and sisters have kids, they actually grow up and they're actually leading
You know what?
armies and they
You know what
actually
can
have a
happen?
chance to have their own castles and their own little realms that you can kind of interact with as well. Maybe even a system of when the first character, like your first character, dies, um, you have to like split up all of your fiefs between them and you'll play as one of them and try to get all of them back and stuff like that. Like maybe that would just be a fun little scenario.
So I see where you're going with it.
Yeah, cause one thing that I don't think is necessary, but I think would be fun, as like a community thing, not something that the game would strictly code in, um, would be like titles around specific plots of land. Like you know how Limmy's mod is Europe. If we had like you know because we have the kingdoms in his 1100 mod or
Yeah,
in 1100 mod that was made with his map. We have like the different kingdoms, but
so
if we split those up into
do you remember
duchies and
the
counties and stuff like that.
original mode map? Our original mode map.
Uh huh.
Do you remember our original mode map?
Yeah.
You know how every province was split in half?
Uh, yes, basically, yeah.
Well, we can use that and basically create those titles,
That's a good
like
idea.
superior titles to a settlement. Like you would be lord of a settlement, but you would be protector of whatever.
Yeah.
So we can use those splitted provinces and even the names that I put there to kind of like build those titles. So, for example, how Vlandia was like Oxlandia and Cascalia, north and south.
Yeah.
Basically, south is 4 cities and I don't know, 5 castles or maybe 4 castles. Doesn't matter. But let's say if you control more than 50% of the settlements there, but that would count the villages. You understand where I'm going with it?
Don't wouldn't all the fives be weighted equally? Because don't all fives have three villages except for like two?
No, some of them have like three, some have two, some castle only have like one, some have two, some settlements have four.
I know in Limmy's mod
So
there's one that I saw that had
so
four.
um the anyway,
Also, sorry,
like if you own
very
more
quickly,
than
the
half
my
of
game crashed.
the settlements in an area, you become protector of that area, and you can have other lords inside, just like how Lord Stark had Lord Bolton.
Oh yeah, yeah, I like that.
And for example, Lord Bolton would just be Lord of what he is. Let's say, um,
The Dreadfort.
in Nordovlandia, we call it the Protector of Oxlandia, let's say, even though we should go with a more, I don't know, lore name rather than my own inventions.
Yeah.
Um, he will just be Lord of Bravent, and if I have Oxhall and the other city, I will be Protector of whatever.
That makes complete sense. Yeah, I think I get it.
Or we can, um, that might sound stupid, but for example, if like you are a protector of a big shore, you can be like protector of the sea. If you are protecting Batania, and the Batania has that big lake, you can be like protector of the lake. If you are like close to big mountain range, you can be protector of the mountain. I don't
So
know.
here's a question:
You can go by countries.
Would this
I
be
mean, like
would
each country could have its own thing.
would it be open enough to let you create your own titles, or would we just have to like select from a list of titles?
Uh, what you mean?
Like
Select from a list of titles.
like if you say we're going to have this in the game, right? And we had a character that we wanted to give a title to or nobility to. Could we like would it be like a thing where we made them a noble and then we like there was like a chat box and we entered in what we wanted their title name to be, or would we have to select the title that we give them from like a list of names?
So, for example, that leads me to another thing, another mechanic that could be easily implemented, changing settlement's name. So, basically, you change the province name and it takes the name of the province. You like it like that? But
Okay,
we
yeah.
can make it so that only if you are king, not protector of such province, because you are protector of the province, you cannot change its name, but the king can by royal decree.
Yes, of course. I like that. I like that setup.
Um, so because you can change the name to a city or a village or this area that we're gonna create, but um, I was thinking about the mechanics of it. You know how they show you the flag? I don't know, actually, how they show you the family,
What do
and
you mean?
then they show you your friends if you press on a leader or
Oh
something,
yeah,
or
yeah,
a,
yeah. And the
on an
encyclopedia.
NPC, on an NPC lord. Which I believe it would be better if like we place it in that area. So like we keep just his name there, but you can see he is lord of that, he's lord of that, he's protector of that, or he's king of that, or blah, yada yada yada.
Yes, yes.
So like in that area, we can still show the display the normal features, but we do our box where we write our own things. And um yeah, I think it's kind of better if you place it as like you name it yourself,
Okay.
because that leaves you with a lot more options from the get-go. So like you don't necessarily have to name the province in such a way because maybe you want to go by a weird name, or
Yeah,
maybe you
'cause
want to go by
one thing
north cardinal directions, or maybe you want to go by geographical locations, or maybe you simply don't want to name it the province name.
yeah, like, cause we always have different names that we'd like to give things, and I would love to see like the community what they what they name their
Good
stuff.
name. Yeah. Um,
But yeah, my game just crashed right
one more
now.
thing that I would love. Oh, you're gonna love this. We're gonna have to create flags
Flags. Oh, I love
for
flags.
every clan. For every clan.
Oh, forever. Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, of course.
But we gotta. We ain't gotta go like very complicated ones,
Yeah, the
or
ones in
we
Bannerlord
can
tend to
depend on
be.
another. But they typically use historic banners, and it kind of does. I don't know, kind of doesn't fit the idea of Bannerlord. Like seeing the Legion 7 there having a flag
Yeah,
when I'm playing in the Middle Ages
yeah.
is not that good.
I get that.
So like we still have to use the main things, but I can see like typically the normal flags are like three symbols positioned whatever in whatever formation, or just two symbols, or
Typically,
even
yeah.
four symbols.
Or I mean, just
So
like basic shapes. Yeah.
like if I remember correctly, um for example, their heart's original flag without having the Vandian's one, so like that's the Demerok family, it has
Didn't
like
Daymarok just had a
a
spear, right?
diamond. It has like a diamond, then it has that knight head,
Okay.
and then it has another diamond. But that doesn't mean we have to go this stupid or lame. We can like put certain symbols in such a way that with two or three or four symbols, we're gonna create another symbol. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Like if you place uh, a rectangle over the other, you create a cross.
Yes.
If you place, I don't know, a shield, and then you place a tower on a shield, it becomes a shield with a tower on it as a crest.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So stuff like that. Like maybe on that shield you can place an eagle too, and it really becomes a medieval style looking simplistic uh kind of stuff.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. So it shouldn't be too complicated. I guess the question would be, how many do we need?
Yeah. I was like looking to add one more clan for each existing faction. So Vandians have 11. They are alright, but they will have to give one king to the Batania, and then one king to Cascalia. And we're gonna create two new families to replace those.
Okay.
And then all of the existing lords will get one more. Clans will get one more and a redesign. For example, like you take their model and you make their ears longer, or you color the skin different, or you change their hair, or things like that. And you change their name and stats.
And
So, like, just imagine you have. Do you know how Kaladag looks? He
Caladog?
has those
Yeah, I've
braids.
seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, typically, you take his model, you make him a bit shorter. It's just like how you create your player, you know? Exactly like you start a new game.
Yeah.
You go into the files, and in the files, you're gonna find his character. His character has a code. If you copy that code and you start a new game in the character creator, so this is basically exactly when you start a new save. You then press uh, Control V to copy, and it basically uh, paste Caladog into your character. So now you can play
Oh,
as Caladog.
yo,
You understand?
have people made other characters? Have people made like Walter White or like John Wick or anything like that? Do you know? There has to be like
No, but like I did a bunch of characters. and I save them. So like, for example, I did a character for myself, and I simply go back into the notes, paste that, and it completely gives me the same person every time.
Okay. And you just like having that as your
So
main character?
typically is, yeah, I don't know why, but
I mean, I
the
choose
way I
the
play this
same.
game
I
is
usually
I
just use
see
a default.
myself in those cultures, or what would I do if I was from this location? I cannot like the way you play as like Call of Duty kind of thing, because it's not your character, you know, like yourself or
Okay,
something like that.
I want you to describe to me how you think I play.
Um, so firstly, you go and play like medieval trap songs on
Okay,
YouTube,
okay.
and then you put the Europe map,
Yup.
and you go like,
You're on track so far.
where where should I go now? Or where should I imagine a royal branch of a family that could create an old empire that I would revive or something like that?
Yeah,
And basically, then you became kind of a bit of dictator to replace all the population there. So it becomes all like you want. And then you create branches of all the sons and daughters and families that married each other, and you make them your party leaders, your stewards, or whatever you need.
that's exactly how I play pretty much. I mean,
And then you put your philosophy teacher over colonizing other villages.
or I mean, I play sometimes while I'm in class, but not all the time.
What do you remember what he was saying? Because he was saying I think kind of a lot.
What?
But like
He's a funny guy. He's not always serious, which is kind of weird for a professor, but that's okay.
no, but he was repeating a subject to make the students understand, but I don't remember exactly what he was repeating. He was like this or that, but it was so like comical seeing you read all those villages and him talking about getting it or not getting it, but in a very philosophical, scientific language.
I don't even remember.
I see a problem that being for many teachers in these days. They simply like don't have the attention of the students more.
Yeah, or they try too hard to get it. They try harder getting the attention
And you can
than
see that,
teaching
and
things.
you kind of ignore it more. But
Um,
like, it's not. How can I put it? Um, it's like you are in a position where you already know what he's talking about, but not to a certain degree that he's actually talking about. You kind of go with the flow that you might know, so you ignore it.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of the situation. Although, like at the same time, Bannerlord is such a fun game that, like, you know, it's something you can play without having to dedicate 100% of your attention to it. So if there's any game that you're gonna play in philosophy class, it probably should be Bannerlord. Especially like if you've played it a
Yes.
lot, because it's not like you have to like read the storylines, because you've already read the same lines 1,000 million times. So it's more just like it's very cool to command
You know,
battles and fight and like manage castles and stuff like that. Also, my game keeps crashing. I don't even know what mods to put on now because I literally can't play this game.
maybe it's because you do them. Hey, do you have like that extender that I told you about? UI extender X.
Yes,
Do
I
you
have
have
that.
this?
Yeah, version
Oh,
2.8.
And like you have also have like mod configuration menu V5,
V5, yep. Version
a
5.9.2.0.
harmony and butterlib. I
Yes.
mean, this is kind of standard. I think 20 or let's say 16 actually, or 18. Actually, yeah, let's say 16. And that last perk should give you two more. Because I played with this and I set it to 23. I never got to 23. I always had at most 19. But it's so cool, man. Like when you go and you have all of them in your party and you attack 80 looters. Damn. They all increase in size and in skills and everything. And they actually become real useful. So when they are about 40, 50, and you want to make them real heroes, heroes, nobles, they are exactly at the level of the other two that spawn with them.
You know what?
Because typically they are better.
You could really you could really play as Alexander in that setup with his companion cavalry, like get really OP horses and armor, and just do like no infantry, no archers, just
Oh yeah,
cavalry.
you can go up to 300.
300.
Yeah, but so like recruiting so many companions led the game to like I knew all of them. I just didn't have four. All of the companions of the map, I just didn't have four at one point because I didn't like them. So the game at some point like stopped giving me new ones. So I had to like manually cheat a new one and he started from zero. So he had every skills at zero, but he was my culture because I swapped them all to my culture. So I had like 19 companions Plandian, and
Okay.
the game would never ever spawn a Plandian again.
The what?
So the game will never spawn another Plandian companion because I had 19.
Wow.
So I don't know, it ate all of them up. So something like that. But I guess if you're gonna play with 20 companions, or let's say how I said it at first, 16 and 18, yeah, you're gonna have different culture. Oh, and um, actually, to change the culture of a companion is not like an option. It's simply a cheat. So basically, what I'm saying is like create a mod over many cheats because there is like how we talked in the beginning to talk to a lord and to send him somewhere. Well, there is a cheat to take control over an AI party and then to set it to siege it. So basically, this can become the mechanic is already there. You just have to make a dialogue options that would lead to that.
Okay.
So we can also
And
make
how easy is it
not
to
a
input
dialogue, yeah,
dialogue?
a dialogue option that would make him try to convert to your culture. But I would like it to be as a process, not as like, okay, so now you are this. Like, just like if you hop on a plane, uh, uh, tomorrow you're Romanian because I asked you to be Romanian.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
How easy
so,
would it be to put
yeah, continue
in the new text, the new dialogue path?
with AI.
Yeah, to like take over the party. Or because like you said, look, there's a way to take over a party and like set it to missions. How easy would it be to put the speech dialogue interaction in the game to where you could take over their party and set it on a mission that you wanted it to do?
Well, it would simply be like, um, the way I see it. it's the two dialogue options, or like I don't know, you start the option, you first say hi or something. Like I don't remember exactly how it's in the game. And then you have like, can you do a task for me? Or something like that. And then you open that and you have several options like buy horses, guard something. It's just like how you do it on Improved Garrison. But you ask a noble.
Okay.
You like
I,
patrol.
I love the improved
Uh,
garrison, by the way. That's also another essential mod that we need in it.
yeah, but the way I see it is like if I manage to like bind all of them into one, that would be glorious. But what if they are actually separate mods because there's like I don't know, it's not that easy to bind them.
Mm.
Anyways, then I have the rename companions. This is OP, man, because I
Rename
hate to see
companions.
horse thief in my team
Yeah.
or cow thief in my team
I hate
or
that too.
whatever ragged ass name in my team. I hate that, man.
I get it. I get it. I completely
And
understand you.
that's kind of like all the mods that I had. I do have Europe Lemmy's mod project, but I think it's just a map.
I think you just need the map. Uh,
And have you ever tried a realistic battle mod?
yeah, I that's another essential mod. I don't play without that mod.
You don't play without it?
Nope, I don't play without
Damn.
diplomacy, improved garrisons, RBM, or Lemmies. I think I've only played three games on the default map. That's why I love Lemmy so much.
Oh, and like this is actually like my friend. I love the guy that did this mod. I don't know his name, but he's the best guy ever because he did this mod. It's the we became friends because the guy decided to do this mod one night. It's My Little Warbands, and it's so OP, man. Um, did you remember my idea where I thought we should leave Botania in as a culture,
Yeah.
but have absolutely no land, but let the player
Oh,
be Botanian?
I don't remember this part. Oh wait, no, no, no. Yeah, I
So,
remember this part. I remember this.
so basically, the whole idea of the mod is that Botanians now, original Botanian land will be Landianized, and the Botanians will move into the Northern Empire, while the Western Empire becomes also Landianized. So, um, what was I speaking before this?
About the mod idea where you are Botanian, but Botanian
Oh,
takes
yeah, yeah.
land.
So basically, in the Northern Empire, Botanians mix with those Slavs and become another thing. So Botanians kind of fade into two cultures, but I plan on like doing Foxman minor clan, Old Sworn minor clan, and like Fiend minor clan, and they all stay Botanian. There's also companion that will be Botanian, so they can spread your culture and become governors.
Okay.
And there also be the original troop tree of the Botanians. So the moment you get a city or a castle to be Botanian, you have available all the tree, which basically it is available in the game, but a separate minor class.
Mm. Okay, I need you to explain that last part again.
So typically, do you know how minor clan looks? It usually three guys,
Yeah.
level two, level three, and level four.
Yeah, and if you kill
I
them,
don't
they
know
respawn again. I hate when that happens.
what the lords.
Yeah, like you mean the ones
I
like
actually managed to kill all of them once. They
really?
do respawn twice before you kill them all, and they actually disappear.
Okay,
So,
so you can wipe them out.
reverting. So I don't know if we my first idea was like, well, we should not end it at level 4. We should make extra 2 level 5s. So each has two variants.
Okay.
Because I wanted to input the sisters into this version of Minor Clan. But if we keep it at how it is today, with starting from level 2 ending with level 4 on a simple tree, we can start a Fian minor clan and have them archers with the swords. Be custom a little bit like original Botanians, but different, and have a backstory of how the original Botanians got split, blah blah blah, and they formed, they got, no, I don't know, they rebelled or something, and they are now living in forests or something like that.
Yeah.
And similarly, we can do uh, a Falx minor clan that uses the Falx sword, and the
Isn't the
how the
Fox?
Legion of the Betrayed
Isn't that like a super
kind of has no
short
sense
sword?
now.
The Fox is a short sword, right?
No, 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 no. It's a two-handed, more than a yard sword.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
So, and it's bended not like Turkish swords, but in the other directions, so it hits like a axe.
Okay.
So like, if you bend the sword that way, it has more strength. But because if you use an axe, all of the power is centered in the mass of the iron, but on a sword, it's distributed on the blade.
Yeah.
So because the sword is curved and it has a lot more iron on top and it's curved inwards, you hit like closely to an axe.
Okay.
So if you watch the video with Dacia versus Roman Empire in Trajan times, the Roman troops like doubled the helmets because of this. Because when they hit, the curved blade went behind the shield. So it actually punctured the armor of the Romans, even if they were shielded.
Okay.
And I didn't use the fogs for neither Botanians, neither the Batanosturgians, neither Donarians. I meant to say the Londonized Botanians, neither the Batanosturgians in the Northern Empire. Um, Fian is kind of non-existent because I merged it with an heroic line breaker and I give him an axe. And the original Fian has a sword.
Okay.
But
I
here's
think
here's the thing, because if you have an axe, the axe in the game goes through persons, while the sword only hits one.
yeah, I think I've noticed that. Although one thing that I do question, and I know that you're able to do this consistently, I've never figured out like how exactly to get those two-handed troops in like a formation. Like I never I'm never able to get like a like
Uh,
two-handed
what do you
axes
mean?
or like two-handed swords to
Uh,
be.
so you so you have like a separate formation
Yeah, because I've
of
seen
just,
people
well, um
have like
think
entire.
about it in other ways, like select the ones with the shield, and then you have a free infantry spot with the remaining ones, which are two-handed.
Oh, okay. So I just have to. Okay. I don't really like go too in detail with the formation stuff. I
Or
thought.
if you want to make it easier for you, give them a weird weapon. So, but that would make them a bit heavier. For example, uh, if you want to select a certain type of troop, you can give him a throwing weapon, and you select throwing weapons with My Little Bourbon.
Okay.
So, so like you enter their spot, and they are, I don't know, let's say they are pikemen and they don't have a throwing weapon. You want only pikes, so you put the throwing weapons, and then when you start a battle, you select pikes and throwing weapons, and you specialize to them.
Okay. So it's a lot of just common sense. Easy enough.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about the redoing of the Prahian troops?
Um,
I don't know, man. They kind of look like 16th century, bro, and you know.
I think I think it's good. Because it's not unconceivable that this would be around during this period. It's just like if there's a good reason for it, and if nobody else has it, then there's no reason to reject
Well,
having it.
in real times, 184 ended the time of the First Crusade.
What period is
A
Bannerlord in?
thousand. So yeah, actually, in all modes, whenever I see this, they all start at 1084. So like, I don't know if this can be changed. Well, what I was about to say, anyways, was like during 1084 AD, there was the First Crusade.
1084.
Yeah, or am I wrong?
I
Or it was
actually am
1100. But I think it was 1084 or 89 or something.
not completely sure.
So my point was more on the fact that this period meant only chainmail mostly. That was the most advanced thing. But um, we can also take into the consideration the game is kind of in the 12th century. So we also see the development of brigadines and exposed plate armor, but we are looking at shoulders, we are looking at hands, we are not looking at full plates.
Okay.
And um, we might, like, at first I tried to excuse this by saying that they took over the richest parts of the empire and they had great smiths, but it's still kind of early in the game. We can also say, well, the Banner Knight also kind of looks like he's not from that period. He kind of looks 100 years later. And that's true. But this guy looks from 16th century, like when they decided, yeah, we don't need extra gambersons or mail. We just need a shirt and a plate.
Um,